Okay, this is for Eric. This is April Biss. I thought that this would probably be the best way to communicate in regards to giving you feedback for your assessment 2. And I did read your note in the message area. I appreciate your apologies, and going forward, it's good to kind of keep communication lines open. I agree. And so let's just go forward and, make sure that, we both are open to our own thoughts. And, I'm here to help you. I don't want you to fail in any way. My job is to have you learn each week what we're doing and succeed. So that's why I'm here. So I want you to do really well in this class. In regards to your notes, I understand your comfort level. You were stating that you did this in Illustrator, and then you pretty much placed it in InDesign. And I get that you can do that. However, I'm a little concerned only because the idea behind this assessment, and it's stated within the details in your assessment, is to use InDesign. It's even in the rubrics here. So when I grade you, it's asking if you did your project in InDesign. So it's an InDesign file. And then, obviously the prompt is use InDesign as the program. Now, there's reasons for this. I mean, you definitely can do this in Illustrator like you showed. However, you're getting that practice in InDesign that you need, that everybody needs, to create your document. And InDesign is great for that. Designers use this as the go-to for any type of poster, advertisement layout. It's pretty much a really great program to set type and imagery. So it's good to get that practice. So what I would like you to do is try this maybe again, and instead of using Illustrator, use InDesign. I don't think that's too much to ask, and I think that kind of follows along with the project specs. So let me know if you have any questions or need any help in regards to that. I think, you definitely can do this. It's not like it's a lot of information. And kind of maybe take the suggestions that I'm going to give you now going forward to create your InDesign file. Okay, so I cannot get into your elements here because it is a flat file and you didn't provide your AI file. So I'm just going to explain it as best as I can to help push this layout further so that it's more effective. And that's the feedback I give you. I give you objective feedback. It's never subjective. So I'm telling you what works and what doesn't work based on facts. All right. So the biggest thing that I see is the logo that you have up here. You want to make sure that you're using the original logo as originally as you can. And I see that you kind of added some elements around here. What happens when you do that to a logo mark that somebody gives to you as a client, you're taking away from its recognition. And, maybe you just thought, okay, I'll just add this and it looks, makes it look better. And I understand your thought process behind that, but when a client would see that, they would think, okay, this doesn't look like the original logo that I gave to you. So it's losing recognition from the original logo itself. So what I would say is keep it simple. Just take all the elements off. It's not really needed. Focus on what was given to you. You can change the color. That was pretty much the only thing that you needed to do, was change the color scheme. I would avoid any type of outlining of type, any stroke on type, and just kind of take away any of the other elements that you have going on here. All right, the next thing is, kind of think about how you want to align your type You have a lot of things going on here. You have step down type, and then you have centered align type, and then step down type. How can you unify this a little bit better so that it comes together and it reads a little bit easier? Another thing is your hierarchy. Everything's pretty much emphasized here. You have all of your type and all of your type sections are pretty much the same size and emphasis for the most part. So it makes it a little confusing when you view it, where to look first, where to look second, where to look third. So what we want to do is we want to set this up so that when the viewer looks at this poster, they know where to look first, second, third, fourth without having any type of disruption or pause or delay because they're not sure where to look first. Obviously, the image is the focal point that pulls you in, and then maybe it's the logo or the headline. So with that being said, maybe the logo needs to be centered somewhere on the bottom or on the top because you have, centered type, maybe keep it consistent in that way. And then what I would do is make your headline larger in point size, much larger than what you have here. Maybe step it onto 2 lines, sunset paddle, and then adventure maybe is at the bottom. And maybe emphasize sunset paddles bigger in point size than adventure, and do a unique type of application to that type treatment. And then have that, kind of centered here, depending on how you kind of push your elements around. The next thing I would do is your body copy. This is the body copy here in this area. I would make that smaller. And again, that's setting up your hierarchy so that you see the headline is larger, the body copy is smaller. I would go probably 4 or 5 point sizes smaller than what you have here. I'm not quite sure what point size you have because I can't click in here. But yeah, I would definitely go a little smaller. Once you do that, you might want to even clean up your rag here because you have a longer top. Just balance this out a little bit better. Your break as well as, maybe have it say sign up for this unique experience, and maybe and join us as you paddle off into the sunset on the next line. Enjoying relaxing scenery. I don't know, see how it kind of balances out within when you do downsize, it might, break a little bit differently. And you should have it, a nice balance to your copy and the edges. Sometimes it's good to get into your depth. I'm not quite sure if this actually, I don't know, is this added into there? If this is something that's not provided, I would just take this out. And I understand, you're adding something in there that you think will definitely make it look stronger. But sometimes if you add stuff in there that the client doesn't give to you, they might kind of get upset about that. So the idea is to kind of only put in there what you are given. So, if this is something that you want to add in there later, say a second variation for yourself, that's fine. But for this assignment, I would just take that out. Maybe pull everything down slightly so that you have space in between if you have the logo up here, in between your logo, your headline, you want at least 1 inch space in between your logo and your headline, and then have the headline closer to your body copy and have it kind of pulled down here just to balance out your layout. Below here, the visit information, I think that's good as far as the size goes. The only issue I have is the stroke on here. It's pretty much a no-no in typography to put stroke on letters. I mean, you can do it. Headlines are always the best. If you have a thicker typeface, a headline, you can definitely do it too, depending. But I would take that off. It just makes it harder to read. That letter forms are made to be readable, but when you put that stroke on there, it makes it harder to read. If anything, if you need more contrast, change the color, or you may put a slight drop shadow on it to make it kind of pop a little bit more. But yeah, I would definitely take that stroke off. Same thing on the headline because it's a thinner letter typeface. And that's something that you maybe make that thicker as you revise this. That's fine. So that's, and be mindful of your margin space. I would leave at least And it looks like you have enough here on the left and the right. Just kind of make sure, yeah, it looks pretty good, that you have, I would say, at least 3/4 to an inch of margin space all the way around, just to kind of frame your elements. All right, so I'm just giving you my my 2 cents here. This is my feedback of 18 years experience, and you know, I definitely have, you know, I look at things objectively in regards to the feedback I give you. I'm not saying, you know, I don't like this because it's not my favorite color, or, you know, I've never liked this typeface. I'm going to give you facts when I give you my feedback. So hopefully that'll come across in that way so that you can push this further, because I really want you to learn from this class and take away some good tips and tricks, and you know, how to kind of push your work so that it's more effective and meaningful. All right, so go ahead and do this in InDesign. I think that would be good to challenge yourself. That will give you some practice in the program. That, you know, if you feel, you know, not as comfortable, that's exactly what you need to do, is kind of challenge yourself. And let me know if you have any questions. I do step-by-step demos in all of my lectures, so if you need clarification there too as well, please review that. I show examples and you know, actually do the project myself, so that hopefully will help clarify any questions that you have. All right, in the meantime, let me know if you have any questions. As far as the, you were asking about in your message too, about the pack back questions. Let me go to your actual post here. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. All right, this looks good. When did you posted this? Oh wait, this is not yours. Let's see here. Oh, this is your response. Okay. Okay. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like you only have a response here. Let's see here. Okay. So it looks like you just added a response to her to her post. So when you ask a question each week, and it's just going to, you know, there's no categorization of what week is what week. That's kind of a little confusing. But just go ahead and click on ask a new question. Ask your question here. And I'm just putting this here as a placeholder. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of talk about your question and how you would maybe try to answer your own question. And it's kind of like a thesis paper, if you think about it. If you've ever done like a research or a thesis paper, you always kind of start with a question, and then you kind of go into how to answer that in your own words. You can supplement it with extra resources that you pull in. Just make sure you cite those sources, and you can cite them here by pasting a link or typing a book title. So you would type in, you know, all of your 150 plus words in there with your citations, type your source here, and then save and post question. So it's super easy. If you have any questions, let me know, but that's pretty much the process. All right, Eric, I'll be talking to you soon. Hopefully this all kind of is clear to you. If not, just let me know.